This pumpkin is here not only to remind us of the inevitability of death, but also to remind us that Halloween is super fun. If someone were to ask me what Halloween special they should watch, my first choice is Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman. It's been a classic since I was a wee lad, and it still is. I'd say it's probably my most rewatched Halloween special ever. It's a musical, it's a cartoon, it's the best. Alrighty, so if you don't know Alvin and the Chipmunks, Alvin is the middle of three brothers. His older brother Simon, his younger brothers Theodore, and they have these friends called the Chipettes, Jeanette, Brittany, and Eleanor. Okay? And the Chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, their dad is Dave. So the plot of this special is, we got some background. Alvin is really into monster movies and monster memorabilia. He watches monster movie marathons on TV, but they give him a lot of nightmares, and so Dave decides to ground him and take away all of his monster memorabilia because he's having nightmares every night, and it's getting really disruptive. Plus, he's like a troublemaker. In the meantime, they're having a school play, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is not appropriate for children, but here we go. It's classic literature, I guess, and they also referenced it in Arthur. 'Cause I was Jekyll, Jekyll, Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde, Hyde, Jekyll, 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 Hyde, Jekyll, Hyde. I don't know why they want kids to read it, but a few things do. Alvin has the role of Dr. Jekyll / Mr. Hyde, but he explodes the auditorium, fills it with this green goo, because of a science kit that he ordered off of television from the monster movie marathons. So then he gets in trouble and he loses the role. While this is happening, Theodore, our meek Theodore, he's being bullied by this boy named Nathan. He's just, getting pushed down, getting laughed at, getting his lunch stolen, all kinds of stuff. And they're like, you gotta stand up for yourself, Theodore. And he's like, well, I don't know how. I'm like 3 feet shorter than him. He really is. He's like half his height. And he really does not stand a chance. The principal suggests, since Alvin shouldn't play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde anymore because he exploded the auditorium, that Theodore could stand to use some confidence, and maybe playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde would make him more confident and maybe stand up to Nathan. Because for some reason the principal is like, he has to fight his own fights. I can't intervene. Public school. Why can't you do something? Anyway, that's her philosophy. So Theodore is going to be the new Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but he's really bad at it because he's really shy and really nice and really like Butters. He even wears the same color. And he's practicing in the backyard, and Dave is trying to make him more confident, but it ends up just scaring him, and then he passes out from fear. Like he's really, timid. The Chipmunks have a new neighbor, Mr. Talbot, and Alvin suspects that he is a werewolf.
Oh, there's a monster around here, all right. And you know who I think it is? Mr. Talbot.
But Simon says that Alvin thinks everyone is some kind of monster because he watches too many monster movies. But Alvin's like, I think we need to investigate and see if he really is a monster, because what if he is? He really seems like one to me. And then Simon's like, fine. And they sing a fantastic song called Monks on a Mission. All right. So Alvin is grounded in his room. He's not allowed to have any monster memorabilia, books, doodads, movies. He's dying. But he ordered a monster book of monster facts from Madame Rhea. Madame Rhea hosts these monster movie marathons. And she says that the book includes an amulet, which is like, in this case, a crystal necklace. The book arrives while Theodore is outside practicing his lines, and Alvin calls down to him from his window saying, hey, can you send that up? That's for me. And then Theodore's like, are you sure it's not monster stuff? And then he's like, yeah, I promise. And then, so he sends up the book to Alvin in his room, and Alvin only cares about the monsters, and he throws the amulet out the window, and it hits Theodore right on the head. Theodore thinks that Eleanor would really love the necklace, so he decides to go and give it to her. And that goes well. She loves it. She does love it. He knows her so well. How cute. On the way home, he gets bitten by a dog. He says, a very large dog in the bushes.
I was coming back from
Everybody's freaking out. They're all afraid. The Chipettes are afraid of the dog. Simon and Alvin are afraid. You know, they think that it's a werewolf.
Where the hell have you been, Loca?
And then Theodore starts acting kind of funny. At night, he turns into this werewolf puppy that Simon and Alvin have to take care of. And during the day, he's like this cocky, mean, rude, pushy, confident guy, which is great for his new role and great for standing up to Nathan, but bad because he's not little Theodore anymore. And he's actually really rude. He's like losing his friends. And they sing a song, Little Brother Mr. Hyde, which is freaking fantastic. Okay. So, he is ruining his friendships. He's being mean to Eleanor, he's being mean to Jeanette, he's being mean to Brittany, but Brittany can just clap back. She's not putting up with it. She's the only one that's like, what the heck? The other people are just like sad. So Alvin and Simon decide, we gotta deal with this. The only person we know who knows monsters is Madame Rhea, so they go and see her at her studio and they ask her what to do. And she's like, here are some solutions to get rid of the werewolf. Most of them include death. And they're like, but what if we don't want him to die? And then she's like, most of the time, people want the werewolf to die. But if you don't, you can try hitting him on the head with something silver. Mr. Talbot has this cane with a wolf head on it that's made of silver. So Alvin goes home and steals it while Mr. Talbot's working in his garden, or just, he sits it down for a second. Alvin steals the cane. Alvin bonks Theodore on the head with it. Theodore's like, what the heck? He grabs the cane and snaps it in half. So it's the day of the play. Big performance. Everybody's mad at Theodore. Everything's, whatever. But it's also a full moon. Theodore is mid-performance. He transforms into a werewolf. Dave, in the meantime, is over at Mr. Talbot's house to apologize for the cane being stolen. As he's there, Mr. Talbot starts to transform into a werewolf. So Dave says, I gotta go warn the kids. And he's running to the school. And then there's a big face-off between Mr. Talbot and Theodore in the middle of the performance. And they're like wrestling, they're like biting each other, they're like scratching at each other, and everybody's freaking out. And in the meantime, Alvin and Brittany and Simon are trying to like keep the play going. So they're improvising, they're wearing dresses, they're like playing all the characters, and they're trying their best, They're trying to go along with the transformation, they're trying to like add that into the plot. There's a big battle going on. And they bite each other and they both transform back into themselves. And I don't know who says it, but somebody's like, because the werewolf, Theodore the werewolf, bit the werewolf that turned him and turned them both back because it was like a reverse bite. So they're both healed. Mr. Talbot's embarrassed and he apologizes. And the audience thinks it's all part of the show and they love it. They all stand and applaud. How great. After the school play, then we have our final song, our closing song, Everything's Gonna Be Alright, which is a banger. Fantastic. Did I go fast enough? Seen it a million, billion times. I think sometimes people feel a little bit hesitant because it has pitched up voices, but I love pitched up voices. It's like half the things I watch. This is one half, South Park is the other half, so I'm used to it. And I pretty much have a pitched up voice at this point. I don't know. I love it. Classic Halloween, musical, werewolves, suburban fantasy. Urban fantasy? Suburban fantasy? I don't know. It's funny. The plot is amazing. The songs are amazing. It's superb Halloween vibes because school plays happen in the fall. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah. I've seen a performance of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's dark. I think I'd prefer to watch their production of it, to be honest. And I do way more often than I watch real productions, because I've seen this movie probably 1,000 times. It's fantastic. Anyway, happy Halloween. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Everything's gonna be alright. Don't you be afraid when things go bump in the night.
Yeah, it's definitely comparable to True Blood. Like Buffy. Like other things. With a werewolf. Twilight, I guess. But yeah, fantastic, 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 fantastic. Go watch it. It's very Halloween. It's very great. It's so freaking fantastic. It's the Chipmunks. It's so funny. It's so great.